Before you begin your Unit 6A Day 4 notes, I want you to review how to solve multiple step equations with variables on both sides. Okay, I want to start with this problem right here. And we can go ahead and let's just delete this problem. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is draw a line down our equal sign. Next, we combine like terms on each side of the equation. I can see over here there are no like terms. I have a constant and an x. Over here, I have two constants and I have two x's. So I have like terms on this side. We need to now go ahead and combine those like terms. -14 and a +7 makes a -7. A +6x and a -2x combined together equal a +4x. These two are not alike because they do not have the same variable raised to the same power. So I am done combining like terms on this side of the equation. I have not done anything over here, so I need to just write it as it is, 1 + 5x. My next step is to combine variables across the equation. So this is where it gets tricky. Sometimes we want to just immediately start with doing the opposite, but we can't. We have to make sure all of our like terms are together. So I'm going to look right here and I can see that I have these two are like terms and these two are like terms. So I need to get those terms on the same side of the equation. And I'm just going to highlight them so we can see where it comes from. Okay, so to move a term across the equal sign, I have to do the opposite. I can see here I have a +4x, so I need to use the inverse operation to move this term over here. So in order to get rid of this +4x, I need to subtract 4x from this side. And whatever I do over here, I have to do over here. +4x minus 4x is equal to 0. So this is gone. And I'm left with only a -7 on this side of the equation. When I go over here, I'm seeing, remember that I'm combining this 4x with my 5x. So 5 minus 4 is equal to 1x. I have not done anything with this 1, so I'm just going to carry it down. So I'm left with 1 equals plus 1x, which I can also just write as x. Now, my next step is to see if there's any more like terms. And I can see up here I identified -7 and 1 as like terms. So I need to get those on the same side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. -7 minus 1 is equal to -8. And now, 1 minus 1 is equal to 0, so that is gone. And now I'm left with just my variable on this side of the equation. I do not need to add or I don't need to multiply or divide at this point because I'm left with just an x. So what is the solution to this multiple step equation with variables on both sides? X is equal to -8. Oofta, that was a lot of steps. Okay? All right, let's keep going. Make sure all of this information is in your notes. Let's try this next one. Here we go. Step 1, line down the center. Step 2, identify like terms. Negative 7x, negative 3x, negative 8x. Those are all like terms, same variable, same power. And we have a positive 2 and a negative 8. Those are both constants. Now that we've identified all of our like terms, we are first going to combine like terms on each side of the equation. I look over here and I can see I have 2 terms that consist in x. So these are considered like terms. I'm going to combine those. We have a negative 7 minus 3, which equals negative 10x. I have not done anything to my 2, so I need to just record it as is. And I did not do anything to this side of the equation yet, so I also need to just record it as is. Now my next step is to combine like terms across the equal sign. I like to always start with the term with the variable connected, so that's what I'm going to do. I have a negative 10x here and a negative 8x here. I know that I need to get those together because they are like terms. So I'm going to move this over here. To move this over here, I have to do the opposite. Here I have a negative 10x, so I'm going to add 10x to both sides. Negative 10 plus positive 10 is 0, so that term is gone from this side. I am simply left with 2. And on this side, I have a negative 8 plus 10, which is equivalent to a positive 2. Don't forget my x, 2x. And then I have a negative 8. Okay? Now again, I have to combine all my like terms, and I can see I still have a negative 8 and I still have a 2 that needs to be together. So I'm going to move my negative 8 over here. Remember, I'm trying to get my variable by itself. So I'm going to move this negative 8 over here. If I move the 2 over here, then I have nothing right here. And I'm not going to figure out what x is. So my next step is to continue to combine like terms across the equal sign. I have 2 and negative 8 that are alike. So to move my negative 8, I need to add 8 to both sides. And now I'm left with 10 is equal to 2x. Okay? And my last step now is I have a simple one-step equation. 10 is equal to 2x. In order to determine the value of 2, or the value of x, excuse me, I need to divide both sides by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I'm simply left with x. 5 is equal to x. Okay? Make sure all of this is in your notes and that you're listening and writing, not just writing. All right, one more example and then you can try on your own. Here we have negative 32x plus 80x is equal to negative 2x plus 20. Step 1, line down the equal sign. Step 2, identify my like terms. I have an x here and an x here. I have a constant here, or a plain number, and a plain number here. I've identified my like terms. I do not have any like terms on one side of the equation, so I immediately start combining them across the equal sign. I have a negative 2x here and a negative 32x. Those are like terms. So I need to use the inverse operation or the opposite. So I need to add 2x to this side and add 2x to this side. Negative 2x plus positive 2x is equal to 0. So that is gone. Negative 32x plus 2x is equal to 30x. And I have not done anything to my other numbers, so I just need to record them. So plus 80 is equal to 20. My next step is to continue to combine like terms across the equal sign. I'm trying to get my variable by itself, so I need to move my 80 over here. In order to do that, I do the opposite, so I need to subtract 80 and subtract 80. This is equal to 0, so it is gone. And I am left with a 30x is equal to 20 minus 80 is negative 60. And now I'm left with a simple one-step equation, and I need to determine the value of x, and I do that by dividing both sides by 30. And I'm left with x is equal to negative 20. All right, make sure this is in your notes, and let's move on. Okay, you are going to do these two problems on your own and then come check your work. All right, hopefully you tried these on your own and did not just skip to the answers. Our first answer is x is equal to 9, and our second answer is x is equal to negative 4. Okay? Make sure this is what you got. If not, find your mistake. It's all color-coded. All right, now that you've done this, you are ready for our next part of Unit 6A. And you really needed this background information, this friendly reminder on how to do this from Unit 3 in order to be ready for that, okay? This video, was a little bit long, so give yourself a break for a minute or two before you start the next video. All right, best of luck.